Well, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to African Travel and More. You're very welcome. I I have a confession to make. I forgot to schedule this. So, more than likely, this will be a recording, but that's okay. I want to follow through with some of the topics that I did last week. It was quite interesting. I was so happy. I had uh, a, a people on from Malaysia, and then people, of course, that are local near to me were on. So I was able to answer their questions first. So I had quite a few questions that were emailed to me that I really wasn't able to do it justice and answer them. So I'm going to get into that today. But before getting into that, I want to say, if you haven't already done so, yes, like, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps. Now, I want to touch on something that people have been kind of asking me, and it's kind of been out there a little bit. One of the things, I know we discussed it a little bit last week, but I didn't get into it too much. It has to do with level two advisory, travel advisory was issued. And when I researched it a little bit closer, that level two travel advisory actually was issued against Ghana. It was a travel advisory that was issued on April the 8th. I happened to be there on April the 8th. The only thing is, where the travel advisory was issued, it was issued in the upper east regions, and also the regions that border Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso is where the it was issued. So I was not in either of those regions, but I'm quite familiar with northern Ghana, and I'm quite familiar with that border uh, uh, to Burkina Faso, because I've gone to Burkina Faso. So it's things that are happening now, but and some other things that are happening uh, with Ghana that's economic. And I felt a little bit of that this week, the pinch of that, because we do a little business there, and ex- exporting some goods from there. And so I felt that shift, that pinch. The dollar took a jolt. So I'm not an economist, and I always say that I'm not political, and I try to stay just to the in that travel vein. So but we're constantly watching, like, the fluctuation of that of the US dollar to the CD, because you know hey, business is business. I want to get the most for my dollar. Okay, so I want to get right into it, because some of the questions were not answered that were sent to me, and some of them I felt were very good. And so let's start off with, is the tap water safe to drink in Africa? Okay, now, uh, no, you drink, we drink bottled water. I'm sure people that live there uh, in the country have systems, filtration systems in their home where they filter their water. But to tell you the truth, I filter my water here at home in the U.S. So, but no, and it varies by country and how it's set up. But whenever I'm uh, on the African continent, and it just depends. Like, if I'm in Ghana, if I'm in Uganda, if I'm in Gambia, I purchase bottled water, and that goes also with the next questioning about the vaccinations that are required. The one, and it depends on, you should always do the research for what area that you're going to, say, because that's the best way to know. But standard, the yellow fever vaccination is required in most African countries. They require it. So that's something that, yes, you do need the yellow fever shot. But and malaria pills, some people opt out. They don't want to take. I usually will take them because that's just me. Um, I have severe reaction to mosquito bites in the States. So I know that when I travel abroad, there have been places, even in Europe, where I, like in Italy, I had a severe reaction to mosquito bites where, I swell. So I have the medicine that I need. So that's something to think about. Really, if you are sensitive to those mosquito bites, bring lots of that spray, because I'm telling you, you will need it. And that's one of the things I think initially, my first trip, I didn't know, and after that I knew. Even it can help you if you have. I've seen people have sheets that they spray, and they actually cover themselves up with that at night, because if you have severe reactions, I'm, I'm conditioning my hair. If you have severe reactions to the mosquitoes, then you want to be covered up. I'm just going to tell the truth. That's one of the things that I don't like. But like I said, I suffer with those bites here in the States. So I'm one of those people that are really sensitive to bug bites. So yes, uh, bring spray, um, and no, the tap water. Like I said, I don't drink the tap water in the U.S. where I live. I live in California, and but that's my choice. I choose to filter my water. So that's just me. Um, ooh, okay, this is a good one. Someone asked, how reliable is internet and mobile connectivity? So it it varies. Usually, what we do when we arrive in any country, let me give Gambia as an example. We carry an additional um, phone, and we put the um, SIM card in there. Now, I know that there are eSIM and all of that, but in addition to um, our mobile carrier that we have, we get an eSIM, and we run the hotspot through that. And to us, that's a better way, because sometimes you will get to areas where the internet, even the internet that you purchase, is um, iffy. It's, especially when you get into some of the rural areas. And you can ask the people at the airport, which one do they recommend, because most of the times they are lined up selling the sim cards. And the price, it varies. It just depends on the time that you're there and how much data you will need and what you're using that data for. And if you tell them, you're able to that they're able to help you with that. That's very, very simple. Now, there were some other questions about the play. Now, this one, this, I do love going to safaris. I love the wildlife. I love taking pictures of that, because it's very beautiful. Some of the countries that I have visited that I've had the opportunity to take the photograph and get some, beautiful pictures. I did get a lion and I got a leopard as well. I mean, the countries that you're going to see that someone asked, where can I see the big five animals? Now, the big five, what? Lion, giraffe. Don't don't start me. I really should have looked closely at that one. Uh, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, and Botswana. I've been to all of those countries right there. Tanzania, beautiful, beautiful. I highly recommend in all of them, all of them. My husband actually says South Africa was great. They like to tease and call South Africa the zoo, Kruger, the zoo, because well, you can drive through it, but we've actually have a great video where we spotted an elephant in the park, and it was really close to our car and so forth. So yes, those are the countries that I recommend. I've been to all of those countries, and they are Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, and Botswana. You can see the big five there. So the next question someone asked, the same one, is about is it can I take my children on safari? Is there a minimum age? Um, Sometimes, you know what? When we took our children, they were teenagers, but I have seen a minimum. I think children should at least be a minimum of six, because for one thing, you want them to remember it. But I think 6 years is good for the safari. Um, Yes. And they were asking what type of vehicles. Usually it's the 4x4 vehicles. Don't be alarmed. I remember in Uganda, we went on safari there too. We went to their national park, which the name skips me. I can't think of it at the moment. But they actually had a gun, and the guide rode along with us because it was actually a self drive. Also, we actually drove through Uganda, and we drove our rented vehicle on safari uh, with a guide that had a gun. So don't be surprised, because what they'll tell you is that they they have to protect you. If the animals come at you, they're not trying to talk to the animals and do the stuff that we do. They're looking to protect you. They don't want any problems. Okay, and can you blame them? I know I cannot blame them. So yes, I would just say, so this I think it does it for the questioning. Now, some helpful tips that I want to give before I end. If you do not already have your passport, it's, of course, it's necessary. Most people who travel and they do international travel, they know that you need a passport. But I mention it because sometimes people don't keep that in mind, that with the process of how things are now, um, I know I'm just going to speak for the US. It might run a little slow. So just have that passport ready. And I'm saying that because I'm also thinking that I just received our passport, and I didn't check the box that gives you the one that you can have extra pages, either 28, which is what I have, or you can get 52. I always need 52, and because we go to a lot of countries that have visas, so I'm reluctant now at this point to get another. although I know that soon we'll need it, I'm reluctant because we have our 5-year visa to Ghana. It doesn't end until 2029. And also for Gambia, it doesn't end until 2029. So I don't want to waste money. So we will have to be very cautious as to where we travel. This uh, probably the end of this year and into next year, we'll have to be very cautious because the visa pages eat up your passport book, and that's the part that is like, whoa, it's too much. But yes, you want, if you are traveling to a country that's a visa country, you want to give yourself time to get your visa from that country. I can't stress that enough, that when you do the international travel, especially to some of the African countries, that's my passion. That's where I go. You need to give enough time to get your visa. And now a lot of them have moved to doing the visas online. That's great. Sometimes that makes the process streamlined, but most of the times I find that it's glitchy. Some of them, not all. But I find that giving yourself that extra time is great, because we've had to fly to locations. Actually, my daughter flew to get our passports from an embassy in DC, because we were coming so close to the deadline, and they were taking such a long time. And it's just how it happens. And I actually we actually did a video on this, where you we actually went to the embassies. I think it was 3 embassies in DC, and because we spent about a week or a week and a half. This was during COVID. We were able to access those embassies, and we actually saw how some of them move quicker than others. Okay, meaning that we brought all of the requirements that they asked, and then we walked right there, walked it in. They brought it right out. Some of them, it was a turnaround of maybe a day or two, but we did let them know that, okay, well, we're here. And they did, for the most part, they made an effort to move it along. We didn't pay like expedited fee and so forth. So, but everyone doesn't have that leisure to do that. So that's why I'm stressing that for countries that you need visas to, start in enough time. Do your research, see what it is that you want to do, and yeah, just always allow enough time, and then you won't run into that hectic um, desperation that we had to on an occasion. So next week, I'm wanting to get into, should you uh, acquire or get an attorney when you are purchasing in a foreign country. And specifically, I will want to talk about Sierra Leone. I want to give some information on how um, you can acquire an attorney for property issues in Sierra Leone. And I think after that, I want to bring on our attorney that we were able to acquire in Sierra Leone. It's very interesting what we found out. I'll give a little snippet. Having the attorney with this transaction that we wanted to do in Sierra Leone, it really saved us. Okay, it saved us from possible financial hurt, because we had a trustworthy attorney. And I know that's like, oh, who is what is it, what attorney? But this attorney, I want to bring him on, especially if you're interested in traveling to Sierra Leone, and especially if you're interested in acquiring property abroad. There are different ways, there are different rules, and yes, that's what we're about. So I wanted to just come on today to just follow through because I said it the last time. I said, okay, but I am so sorry. I forgot to I forgot to set it up, you know how you're supposed to set it up. So and hello, I see someone's on now as I'm possibly wanting to end, but if you could like, I'd love it. I'm talking about how next week I want to get into why you should have an attorney when you're making any type of purchase on, say, abroad. But yes, so next week I'll do better. I promise. I promise. I will do this in advance. I'm just getting back in the groove of doing the YouTube lives and actually doing the videos. But I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I hope that this has been helpful. I wanted to come back on. I wanted to connect and answer those questions. I thank you for sending questions to me, and keep sending them. We love to talk about our travel experiences, but especially our travel experiences on the continent of Africa. So I thank you. I hope that this is enjoyable. I hope that you're able to get something out of this. And remember, please, to like, comment, subscribe, and share. So until next time, next Friday, God bless you, God bless you, and God